Well, welcome. Welcome to Vietnam with Sergeant R. You're in my beautiful bedroom and desk area here on the 15th floor of the Emerald Apartments next to the Ho Chi Minh Airport, a couple blocks away. Recently moved here a couple weeks ago. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath for $600 a month. Plus you got to do like electricity and water, which is probably puts it about another $100. So about $700 to live here in this beautiful apartment. It's a fairly newer apartment complex. If you look it up, it's like there's like 5 huge buildings. It's a lot like, reminds me of like a really nice type of San Francisco, because you go downstairs, everything's like a lot more modern in this area. Although I've said it many times before that I kind of miss the inner city. The inner city, the hustle and the bustle, a lot more, the rustic look, the history of the city. The parks are bigger. This particular area that I'm in is kind of on the outside of Ho Chi Minh to the north. So it's right up against a lot of the bigger suburb areas that a lot of, large population that lives on the outside of the city. This particular area is a little, like if I go downstairs and I go down to the strip mall, things are a lot more expensive right here. But if I go out the back door, down a back street, not too far, actually the prices drop a lot compared to the inner city. When I was at Ruby Star Hotel in almost central Ho Chi Minh, my coffee was like 35,000, which is roughly, I guess, 65 cents. And now that's almost that same coffee is like 17,000, which is, I might have the math wrong. It's about $1 in the inner city, and it's about 65 cents here. So 17,000, 20,000 is about 65 cents, 75 cents. So, this particular building is a lot more expensive because it's super, super modern, super nice, but you can get apartments that are older for maybe half the price, depending on where you look. But also the inner cities, the older apartments are still almost as much as this or higher. So it's about location. I have some friends, American friends, that are in the inner city, and they're spending maybe $1,200, $1,100 a month. But they're right in the middle of the city. They like the location. They can walk to everything. So I'm half the price in a nicer building, but it takes me about 30 to 40 minutes to get back into the inner city. But that only costs me maybe $4 or $5 if I'm catching a cab. Once you're in the city, it's to get anywhere pretty much in 15, 20 minutes. It's like $1.50 average. So I've been here for about a month and 2 days. Technically right now it's the 4th of July. It's about 8:45 for you guys on 4th of July, Saturday night. So happy birthday, America, 250th. I kind of wish I was there with you guys, but at the same time, I'm pretty happy right here. I'm happy to be an American. I'm happy to be an American veteran. And because of that, I'm actually able to afford this on my retirement. Even by still supporting a household back home with a majority of my income, still able to live very, very well over here. Very, very well. You can live in Vietnam super easy for $2,000 a month. Super easy. I mean, I've tried to break down the numbers here and there. I mean, my rent, if it's $600, and then if you share it, I do have a roommate, so we're sharing some of the costs. That brings my rent down. So yeah, $300 to $600, and then the phone bill is kind of high because I'm still using Verizon, so I have the regular Verizon bill back home plus international charge, which is about $100. I need to find a better plan or something. Might switch carriers, and I have a Vietnam number, which costs me with data probably $30-$40 a month, so I can connect with locals a little bit easier. So what are we up to? Maybe 700, maybe 800. And then you start talking about food and you start mathing that out. I mean, it's really about how you want to eat here. Street food, like there's street food everywhere. I just had a breakfast sandwich downstairs this morning because it's like 10 o'clock, 10:48 for me right now in the morning. I think 95 cents for a big breakfast sandwich. Just, I mean, more than you can eat. My coffee was like 20 cents. So on average, you can spend anywhere from $3 a day, or if you want to go to like a 5-star restaurant. I went to, there's a nice Japanese sushi place next to my friends in the middle of town. Gosh, I had like, I had like a hot plate of steak, vegetables, rice. They gave me soup, anything you want to drink. I mean, I usually just drink. I don't drink soda anymore. I've been off sugar. I try not to add any sugar to my diet. So I usually get sparkling water with lime. Anyways, I mean, all the steaks, stir-fried steak on a hot plate, rice, everything, drink. I think it was like $7 or $8. Vietnamese dong, it was like 180,000. So it's just ridiculously cheap, and everything's nice. Especially even if you like when you're looking in the inner city, the streets are a little grungy, a little dirty. There's trash. It's kind of piled up every night. They pick it up, so it's not like trash is everywhere. And the city, most of the inner city, it looks old. It's at least, I mean, from Vietnam, I guess, on. So you're looking like 60, 70 years old. So the buildings are getting rustic and old, but as soon as you walk into any establishment, everything's painted, everything's nice, everything's swept, everything's kept clean. I mean, obviously, if you want to go to a dirty place, you can, but for the most part, everything is really clean around here. The outside aesthetics looks old, kind of run down, but that's just kind of comes, and it's like I like that, Actually, that's probably one of the things I don't like about living in this nicer part of town is everything's too nice. It's almost too modern. I feel like I'm in an American city someplace. So, I mean, peaceful wise, I've only seen 2 arguments in a city with Google says it's about 9 to 14 million people. Friends of mine here say it's more like 20 million people in Ho Chi Minh. I don't know. There's definitely a lot of people, but it's not so much that it's like, it's really strange. I don't know if my PTSD has gotten better or it's just the environment of the people. Like, obviously before I didn't like going into crowds. I don't like going to the city. I mean, I dreaded going down to like San Francisco and San Jose and LA. I mean, it's just the anxiety, the nervousness, the traffic just drives you nuts. Here, the traffic is way worse. There's way more people, but I don't feel like I have to look over my shoulder. I don't feel like I need to worry about my safety. I haven't yet to see a firearm anywhere on anybody. No police officers, military. Like I said, one time, the biggest weapon I seen was like a PCV pipe hanging off. Like I think it was a police officer, and they were going someplace. And then it's like, sometimes I'll go to the top of the roof and you can hear across the city, and you'd be hard pressed to hear an ambulance. I do see ambulances from time to time, but it's not constant like you would in a regular city. Like there's police cars going everywhere, ambulances are screaming. It's just really odd. And even for a big city with, somewhere between 14 million people, they still have like a downtime. I'm sure it's the same thing in San Francisco too. It's just like that time from like midnight to 4. It's fairly dead. There's a little bit of traffic, but not much. People get up at dawn for the most part around here. They go exercise. They're big on exercise. They're big on community. They're big on social. Very social around here. People are on their phone, kind of like America, a lot, but people, I can tell people are far more engaged here in this environment and this society. Especially the older people, they're busy doing yoga. They're doing dance classes in the park. They work until their 60s, 70s. They enjoy just doing things. I mean, I think for a lot of people that might come here, and I think it's one of the things that worries me, even for myself, is that I could get so lazy if I really wanted to. But this type of laziness is kind of more open to, hey, do what you want to do. Do something that you've been meaning to do for a long time. There's a lot of, like, I'm writing another book, spending my time on that yesterday in my spare time. I probably need to pick up some Vietnamese classes to speak the language better. I only picked up a few words. I'm kind of spoiled with the translator devices between Google Translate, and I have these nice little ear pods that go in, and it has like a 3 or 4 second delay, but I can carry on a very good conversation with anybody. So that's nice. But to learn the language, you got to put obviously the translation devices down. But that'll take a little while. Let's see, update on my medical stuff. So like when I decided to come to Vietnam, I had to bump my plans up for personal reasons. I just couldn't. There were some things going on at home I just needed to get away from. But I was planning on getting here this week, actually, right after the 4th of July. I was gonna leave out like Monday to come to Vietnam, but I bumped up to a month. I just was too stressed out at home. So, the original plan was to come here for about a month or two, and then while just to take a break and decompress from the stress back home. But while I was, even before I was leaving, I was like, well, if I'm going to come out here and sit around, I might as well look into some medical treatments. Because one of the things I've been fighting to find is a hyperbaric chamber for my my PTSD and TBI. A couple years back, me and my spouse, we paid out of pocket like $4,000 to get my brain scanned, and I didn't know it at the time, but apparently I have TBI because my brain is really well damaged. Like I was a professional boxer or I was blown up or something. There wasn't no major cases in my life that I didn't box a lot. There was no huge explosions that I was around. I was around a lot of concussions and stuff like that growing up and in the military, but nothing that stuck out of my head like it was, like massive. So it was just kind of strange. But maybe when you think about it, like when I got out of when I had that review done on my brain, one of the things they said, you got to stop drinking. And at the time, I probably been drinking, not heavily, but fairly regularly from the time I was 16. I drank a lot, definitely drank a lot when I was in the military. Alcohol is probably one of the leading damages to your brain cells, so that wasn't very helpful. Then you throw on trauma, and then your brain starts not firing correctly. And not only was my brain just like a prune, but my brain where it's supposed to fire was firing in like what they call a PTSD triangle. Most of your brain activity fires behind your brain, back here. Mine was high, and then center is your fight or flight, and then I had some side and frontal activity, which that makes what they call a PTSD triangle. When you sit here and go, oh, your brain's damaged, what are you going to do? It's not like you can go into surgery and fix your brain, right? So it's kind of a new thought to hyperbaric chamber therapy was the one thing that was offered, and it's not approved in the VA or FDA or whatever. It's not a common practice in America for brain injury. But then at the same time, I hear that NFL, players, when they get concussions and stuff, that's what they go do, hyperbaric chamber, So I don't understand that in America, why that's not a thing. Maybe they don't want people to get healed. I don't know, whatever. But anyways, I got here, and I'm a foreigner. I don't speak the language. I'm kind of using Grok to, trying to help me. Like, hey, I need to find a hyperbaric chamber facility in Ho Chi Minh, and it gave me a list. And, I went to a couple different places, wasn't getting anywhere. Somebody sent me to a military complex, and I literally walk up to the gate. I don't really know it's a military complex. There's guys in green uniforms and, red stripes and stuff. And I just hand them a piece of paper that basically says I'm looking for hyperbaric chamber, and like this soldier just gets up and he's like, follow me, and I'm like, he's walking me through this military compound to the hyperbaric chamber place, and I try to talk to a nurse there, and they're like, oh, we don't do foreigners here. And I just go out and sit on the steps for a minute trying to figure out where my next move is, and I'm in the middle of this military base. No one's really caring that I'm there. I'm a foreigner, American, and I'm like walking out of there going like, realizing like I just walked onto a military establishment and they didn't care. Like, it's just beyond me, like how easygoing it is around here. Um, so one thing led to another. I was at a Japanese stretch place. I mean, this was like happened all within a few days. Like I got here on a Tuesday. By Friday, I've looked on Thursday. I looked for this hyperbaric chamber place. Walked on the military base, couldn't find nothing. Friday, I went to this Japanese stretch place that one of my friends here in Ho Chi Minh suggested I go to for therapy. And so after the therapy session, the guy that was working on me spoke pretty decent English, and I just asked him, "Hey, can you look up on your computer or your internet how I can get like a hyperbaric chamber here in Ho Chi Minh?" And within 20 minutes, he looked it up. He made a phone call for me for this place, and I'm catching a cab going out to it. And I'd show up, crazy American, don't know how to speak the language. I have some paperwork and some pictures on my phone about my brain, going, "Hey, I want this treatment," and they're like, they take me into a room, they do a checkup on me, we're doing like some Google Translate, and next thing you know, I'm in this chamber for an hour and a half, and it's about $20 a session. It's with how currency goes, it's actually like $500,000 is like $18 and some cents. So it's basically $500,000 is like $20, give or take $2. So $18 roughly every day. And I did that for 14 days straight. And then I'm taking the weekends off now, and I'm just doing it Monday through Friday. And I'm hoping I can start bringing that down, because I've been doing it pretty much since that Friday in June. So almost a month now I've been doing hyperbaric chamber, and the last 2 weekends I've had off. Now, hyperbaric chamber, very interesting experience. It's, if you're claustrophobic, it may not work for you. They do have a screen inside the chamber that you can watch videos or YouTube or whatever. I usually don't. I just like silence. I can hear a little bit of noise coming from the outside. But it is definitely a timeout time. I can lift my knees up. It's not so tight like a CAT scan, where that's kind of claustrophobic. It's a little bit bigger than that. It's just like a small submarine is what it is, and you're just laying down inside of it. And I can stretch out a little bit, toss and turn. Some people can sleep. I haven't really been able to sleep. Maybe a little bit of naps inside there. Even the experience of like when the air starts coming in and pressurizing you, the only kind of discomfort, I usually chew gum to balance out my ears. And then you're just, I sit in there for about an hour and a half, and it's a time to reflect. It's a time to plan. It's a time to pray. It's definitely, once you're in there, you can't get out. There's no door or escape. Like, they're locking you in, and you can't, even if you're having an issue, it's going to take about 15-20 minutes for them to decompressorize so they can even get you out. So once you're in kind of thing. So for most people that might be an issue. You would think for somebody like me with high level PTSD, I'd have a problem, but with going into it knowing that this is actually healing me, and this is probably one of the best things for me, like my mind is like, hey, you got to do this, so I'm in the mindset of like, this has to be done no matter the discomfort. I mean, I think there's times where I was kind of tortured because of my mind and going through the things that I'm going through and thinking about things, but that's kind of almost a nightly basis anyways, to a certain extent. From about mostly May going into most of June, I was only getting about 2 or 3 hours of sleep because of the changes in my life and having to leave and all that stress of going back home and being in a new area, I guess. A lot of that subsided now after about a month. I'm getting better sleep now. Things are better. Things are a little bit more settled in my soul. And how much has that contributed to hyperbaric chamber? It's hard to say. I'm not going to spend another $4,000 to have my brain remapped, but I can say that since I've been almost within the first probably 3 or 4 days, I noticed a huge change in my cognitive thinking, very clear thinking. Most of my anxiety had dropped away. which is kind of strange because I'm in a new place, right? I'm in Vietnam. I don't speak the language. I'm a foreigner. Everything's new. I have hardly any support system, hardly any friends. I do have a couple, which is helpful, but I pretty much felt pretty free and safe here fairly soon. So, hyperbaric chamber, was that helping? Is that helping? I think there's a major part of it without, definitely, wish somebody would study it more, and it should be readily available to everyone for all types of issues. The hyperbaric chamber, not only, I'm focusing on that being helping my brain heal and be more elastic is the idea. And I think I can safely say that has occurred, but there's so many other factors, right? The other factors that you have to think about is the healthy food that I've been eating. I have not that I know of that I have eaten anything out of a bag that's been processed. Most of what I've been eating at restaurants, at home, on the street is all fresh, very fresh. Lots of fruits and vegetables, lots and lots of fruits and vegetables. Every meal has vegetables. When it comes to starch, it's mainly just rice and tofu. And I know a lot of you are like, oh, rice, that sucks. And tofu, doesn't that taste gross? Like, it's not the tofu back home. I tell you, everything here, like, there's even how do I say it? There's a vegan restaurant that I like to go to about once a week, maybe twice a week. And it's better than any restaurant back home. I never thought eating vegan actually tastes well. There's something about how they spice food, how they cook food here. It's just so tasty. Where back home, when you think vegan, it's bland, there's nothing to it. Like, it's really, like, no one would want to eat it. But, like, here, it's actually very good. They know how to cook food, I guess. Or the food here is actually truly fresh. Because back home, when you go buy fresh food, which costs a lot, it still, like, feels like it's empty. Something's missing about it. Here, it's not like, it's just something whole about the food. And I can even, like, and I'll eat big plates. Like, sometimes I'll eat small portions, but I'll eat once a day, big meal, and I get full. Like, I feel like I'm eating too much. But it's not fat, it's not processed, and even then, like, I don't go to the bathroom as much. Back home, I'd go to the bathroom, like, once a day. Some people will tell me they go to the bathroom twice a day. Here, it's, like, maybe every other day or something. Like, the food that goes in, like, is actually energy, and my body's using it. And so what's really coming out is it's not much. And, I mean, even from a diet, digestion standpoint, like, that's better for your system. It's really hard for me to wrap my head around that. For one first world country like America, our food is just horrible. Yeah, does it taste good? There's a lot of food that tastes good. It's usually bad for you. That's why you're getting really fat. In the long run, that's not good. There's I've been able to change my diet. I don't even want to eat American food anymore after eating the food here. It's definitely a major change that I wasn't expecting. I thought I was going to starve over here or something, I guess. So between the good food and non-processed, low-fat, probably the biggest downside to Vietnam is the heat, the humidity. It's hot a lot. Even in, like, my apartment, the ACs are only in the room. They're not in the main part of their house, so it's a lot more open window, get the airflow coming through. So that's probably the most uncomfortable thing about Vietnam is it's typically hot, and when you go outside for a walk, especially during the middle of the day, you're going to sweat. And then between the good food and the sweating, actually my skin feels better. I think that's probably where a lot of my weight loss has come from. I was extremely surprised. I mean, I was already losing weight in May, I think from stress more so than anything else. And I had to put another notch in my belt before I left towards the end of May, and I think I was down to about 190, 192, something like that. I was having a hard time breaking 190. And then, so from the time I've been here, June 2nd to July 2nd, I checked my weight on Monday, Tuesday, I forget what day it was, and I need to check it again because I don't believe it. I was 174 pounds. I literally lost 16, 17 pounds in 1 month of being here in Vietnam. Probably from the sweating, probably from actually walking a lot more around the city, getting up in the morning and going on a nice walk. I remember when I was at home, I would walk around the house a lot, do chores, you know, you go places, you're walking, but it's something's different about here. And then, so, you know, between the food, the sweating, better just walking around, like 17 pounds gone. I've not been this light since I was in the Army, you know, 15 years ago. So that's just crazy to think. At this point, I mean, this week, alls I've really been doing besides walking is just doing hyperbaric chamber all month, doing Japanese stretch twice a week to get my ligaments and my nerves stretched out. And after a month of that, like, I'm really starting to get into this, like, we're seeing huge improvements. I think I talked about this on a prior video of, like, if you have a for the sake of argument, 6 inches of movement, about 4 of those inches is where your power movement is. And if you get your stretch out to, like, your movement about to 10, then your power movement is like 6 instead of 4. So, like, in the last month, two times a week doing Japanese stretch, I've really got my legs to open up. Like, I'm probably in another couple weeks, I'll probably be able to do the splits, which I've never been able to do in my life. Once you get that movement in your ligaments and your arms stretched out, then your day-to-day life is a lot more less painful for those of us who suffer from arthritis, from joint pain, from back pain. You get that all stretched out, and let me tell you, it's kind of masochistic. The Japanese stretch does hurt. It hurts in the sense that, hey, we're getting to the limit and we're pushing you and we're pulling you and we're pulling these muscles and we're pulling these tendons, and it does hurt. It is kind of masochistic, one of my friends was saying. But in the long run, the rest of the day, I feel great. It's better for me. And every time we get further in that stretch and we're pushing the limits of my body, yeah, it hurts, but the benefits far outweigh that. I'd rather have the stretch pain than have the joint pain. I'd rather have the stretch pain than the pain of getting up out of a chair and out of my bed every day. I'd rather have the stretch pain and know that I can now walk and I can run and I can go up flights of stairs. This week I did 2 runs up this apartment building, 17 flights of stairs. Every flight has 2 sets of stairs. Do the math, whatever. I couldn't have done that back home. I couldn't have done that without the stretch, without the massages once a week that I'm getting to work out my muscles professionally, like get those knots out. You know, it's just simple. I didn't do anything that no one else could do. Like, I'm just now starting to start exercising and doing things that are hard. All I was doing was going to hyperbaric chamber, sitting in a chamber for an hour and a half, which is difficult mentally. 2 times a week, Monday and Friday, doing Japanese stretch. That hurts, but is good for you. Wednesdays, doing a 90-minute massage with 2 therapists. Again, that only costs $50, and I tip them very well, and they're very professional. The Japanese stretch costs about $25 each session. My hyperbaric chamber costs $20 a session. There is obviously money I'm spending. You do the math. But towards the future, I'm not going to have to do these things as much once I get my body in a healthy rhythm and a healthy place, right? So, how much is your health worth to you? How much to get rid of the pain finally is it worth to you? You got to do something. Could you do this at home in America? Yeah, probably. You're probably going to pay 5 times as much. If you can find a Japanese stretch place, and there's different type of Japanese stretches. So am I just lucky with getting the one I got? I don't really need to go into detail how that, it's one thing to stretch, but then this particular place does compression too. They're kind of like blood pressure compressions. Like when you get your blood pressure, they compress and then they do the stretch because they're just getting that longer stretch, right? So there's obviously different techniques if you can find it back at home. And then I don't know where you're going to find a 90-minute massage, 2 therapists back home for less than maybe $150, maybe $200. Who knows? If you even have a spa around that even does that type of stuff. And then the quality of the masseuses. These people are very professional out here. So simply, hyperbaric chamber, Japanese stretch twice a week, massage once a week. Did that for a month. I'm able to run flights of stairs anytime I want, run a mile. Never been able to do that in the last decade because of my back injuries, my dislocated L3, my L4, my nerve pain, blah, blah, blah. The weight. I mean, weight alone, for the last decade, I've been over 200 pounds. So I've got literally like less than 25 pounds on me in the last few months. So I'm 25 pounds lighter. I'm getting my body stretched out, worked out, all the kinks out, getting oxygen into my body to help repair my muscles, help repair my brain. It seems simple, but in some ways it seems like a miracle, like an absolute miracle. I haven't felt this great since I was in like high school. Literally, I'm 43 years old and I feel like I'm a teenager again in many ways. I can think better. I feel happier. I feel clearer, less stressed. Obviously, when you leave your work and you leave all the things behind from home, that's stressful in itself, but at the same time, it is definitely a stress reliever to think that I don't have a million things I have to do. And God bless my friends back home that are picking up the slack, and the people in the community that did a great job putting on the Lumber Jubilee. And but there are some things that we're scared that are going to fail, like the veterans organizations in Tuolumne. I mean, no one. I may just be one person, but these organizations need butts in the seat, and one missing person goes a long way. So at the end of the day, like I'm sorry, but I cannot continue to pour out of myself into something that no one else is really caring about, that needs to step up. We've been saying it for years, and we need veterans to step up. They need to be more active, and it just falls on deaf ears. It's something with this generation, I don't know. And at the end of the day, I'm kind of over it, you know. I've done all I could do to help. I gave a lot, and unfortunately, as much as I was giving and as much people thanked me for it, and I appreciate that, and they miss me, it was a detriment on my soul. It was a detriment on my family. It was a detriment on my relationships, my closest relationships. So I don't know if it was all worth it in the end, but it's definitely, I'm happy where I am now. I'm happy about looking forward to the future. New chapters obviously are hard. It's hard to let old chapters go, but here we are. What else? So that's an update on my medical condition. I'm really looking forward to upping my exercising this month. I'm also looking forward to maybe start really getting into martial arts now that my body is all stretched out and ready to go. That'll be interesting. One of the things that have really started dawning on me about 2 or 3 weeks into this trip is that I'm a person who likes to help. I'm a person who likes to stay engaged, and business opportunities are always something that everybody needs to be looking into. So I'm working on a program called Garden of Warriors Recovery. So if any other veterans or anybody back home would like to experience what I've experienced here in Ho Chi Minh, get that medical treatment that I've gotten, and you can see for yourself how well it helps. That would help you. I guarantee you it will help you. So I've kind of got a program working together. I put up a Facebook page. It's on my website. Kind of broke down some costs. You know, just for 30 days of doing what I just did. Basically, I've been here for 32 days. I feel amazing. I feel like I'm 18 again. I estimated it would cost you about $4,800 to do what I just did. And a lot of that can be put on your credit card. Your flight, which would probably be about $1,200 round trip. Your hotel stays, which will be about $600. You can put that on your credit card. As far as cash wise, maybe $2,000. I put a cost in there for me to help me guide you, coach you. So there is a cost that I would ask for. That's a part of that. That would help me. I would appreciate it. But even if you're really, really hard up, just hit me up. We can work something out. Like I said, I have a 3-bedroom apartment here. You could stay with me. We can work out a small cost, but honestly, get you a nice hotel, looking at like $18, $20 a night. It's not much. And for me, I'm on the outskirts of town. For if you're visiting, especially for the treatments that I would suggest, you want to be in the middle of town anyway, so we'll find you a nice hotel. Again, I can help you navigate. I can help you get translations issues. I can help you with all that stuff. So that's kind of my plan, kind of working that out for like a little side business. If people actually are willing to make the move, take the chance, I guarantee you, if you come visit me for a month, I will show you how to improve your life, and you will be amazed. You don't need to stay here forever. Maybe come out and visit every once in a while. Maybe you get out here like me and go like, man, this is amazing. Why would I want to go back to America? I'm fortunate enough. I have a retirement, that I have a steady income, that I can afford this type of life. If you are dependent on work and you need, your monthly income, you're in a hard place. It's going to be hard for you or any foreigner to come out here and make an income. I do have some friends that are doing it, but their work is mainly online, making videos, helping people via phone. So if you have a type of work lifestyle like that, it would be good for you. I know I still see my therapist online over Zoom. So if you do a lot of that type of work, it'll be good for you. But like I said, $2,000 a month, you would be. It's almost hard pressed to spend $2,000 a month. I am, because I actually pay for a personal assistant. So I have somebody that drives me everywhere. I have somebody that helps me pay for the, write the contract or sign the contract for the apartment. I've always, as a disabled veteran, I've always needed somebody to kind of help me in many ways. But I'm getting to the point where I feel so much better. So I'm actually just kind of splurging at this point of just having a personal assistant and paying the extra money to help me get around. But that's just me. If you, with a little bit of guidance and help from me or any other expats around here, I've heard some people say that they can easily live on $800 a month. That's pinching pennies, but I'm sure they're doing it. I've seen the videos and the numbers look right to me. And this is just Ho Chi Minh. I haven't been to Da Nang, Central Vietnam. I haven't been up to Hanoi yet. In the future, I do plan on it. So Garden of Warriors Recovery with Sergeant R. Check it out. If you come across any veterans that are down and out on their last straw, emergency situation, man, tell them to hit me up. Get them out here for a month. Let me help them. Like, I guarantee you, it won't take much to get people on the right path. Part of my story dealing with 22 is that's what I was kind of facing back home. It was like, man, I was at my lowest, and I just had to make the move. I'm not gonna put my name on a wall with the rest of my friends, unfortunately. And it's kind of like it's a sad thing to say, that you have to put names of friends on the wall to remind you, like, you don't want to be that. And I don't knock them for doing it. Everybody has their own life, and they can do what they want with it. I'm still fighting. I'm still a fighter. I'm not going to give up. Never going to give up. It's the best of my ability. And it also helps to have God on your side. It also helps to have a good spiritual relationship, that know that God's never going to leave you, even in your darkest hours. It's very helpful. God's blessed me with a lot of good friends, especially in this last month. It really, when you're down and out, the people that love you will come out in droves. You'll see the ones that rise to the top for you, and I really appreciate those friends. And looking forward to seeing everybody in September. I'll be back in mid-September, and then I'll be coming back out to Vietnam late October. So I'll be in Tuolumne for about a month and a half, taking care of some personal business, wrapping some things up back there. And then tentatively my plan for the next 5 years is to visit September, October, and May, June, somewhere around there. So you can catch me at home about twice a year. You can always call me. My number still works. You can always email me. But for the most part, I'm going to be staying out here, living the good life, a real retired life, a lot less stressed life, a lot healthier life. Obviously, every good thing comes with a cost. I will miss a lot of you, miss my family and friends back home. But at the end of the day, after all 20 some odd years of community service and volunteering, it's truly time to retire and work on a happy life. I wish things would have been different, where I could have had a more happy life back home in Tuolumne. But things just didn't work out, unfortunately. And it's good and bad. You know, it's sad they didn't work out, but at the same time, I'm very blessed that God had even another plan for me out here, which is peaceful and beautiful. And I just don't think I could have ever got what I have now back home, even at the best case scenario, best possible case scenario of being back home in Tuolumne. I would still not get the healthy food that I get here. I'd still not get the medical treatment that I've been able to find here. One of the things that I struggled with over the years is trying to back out of stuff, but always constantly being drugged back into things because no one would step up. So now that negativity and chaos is removed from my life. So it's just, change is difficult. Change is necessary, though, sometimes. So I miss my son dearly. He's 13. He's a very good boy. I raised him most of his life. I've been retired since he was born. He's outstanding. I talk to him about once a day. I think he'll do just fine. He has a loving, caring mother that loves him dearly, and they do a lot of cool things together. And so he's in good hands. A great house. And then also I miss my dog dearly. My dog, I love little Lily, and my other 2 dogs at the house. So not that I don't miss you guys, friends and families, but definitely miss my son and my dog the most. But I will get to see them soon. And like I said, I always enjoy talking to them and Zoom calling them every day. So whatever you're going through in life, if you don't feel like you're happy, satisfied, if you don't think things are going well, you think you're in a rut, you're at your down and out, I encourage you to step out of your box and really make change. Don't think about it. Don't dream about it. Like, actually do it. I mean, leaving certain relationships are probably what needs to happen and are most difficult in situations like that. You don't realize how toxic relationships are until you leave them. Sometimes you don't even realize how much you've been not loved until you've been loved by somebody else. That's something to be said about that. You think people love you and care about you until they're not there anymore, and then other people come along in your life and you're like, wow, okay, this was strange. I thought I had something in it. Now I really didn't. A lot of, there's a lot of things in our mind that we just get set in what's happening, and we're used to the current cycles we're in. And sometimes a lot of those cycles are toxic and we don't realize it, and it's really difficult to get out of them. And as much as we like to repair things, sometimes you can't repair bad cycles and bad relationships. It's just people are who they are, and the only person that you can change and you can help is you. The only happiness comes from you and from inside you. So it doesn't come from other people. If your happiness is dependent on other people, there's something wrong. If your world evolves around somebody else, that's extremely dangerous. I think that is one of the reasons why many veterans kill themselves, because they put all their hope and trust into like their spouse or somebody that's really close to them, and when they leave them or when they die, it's very difficult for them to recover. And that's just that's not healthy love. It's not a healthy relationship. If anything, I've learned from the Vietnamese people, because they're very Buddhist around here, and basically what that comes down to is just do good. But one of the things about love is that you love open-handedly. You love people for who they are, whatever they are, and whatever they do. In America, being materialistic, and there's this idea of like, we're married, you're mine, you kind of hold on to it, or this is my truck, or this is my house, or this is my stuff, or whatever you like or you just have this like grip on it. The idea of true love is like loving, having that desire, but not controlling and being possessive of it. So that's been a hard lesson, a good lesson, hard lesson for me that I've learned out here with these people. Doing good matches along the lines of obviously Christian values, is that we should love others and do good things, do unto others as you'd have done unto them. So there's something to be said about this people. I had a friend of mine email me last week, a very dear friend, love him to death. He was trying to convince me to come back home and say, those are not your people, they're Buddhists, they're godless. Like, hey, if these are godless people and this is, not a good environment, or it's communism or whatever, I think America needs a lot more of it. If this is communism or socialism, America needs this more. If these people are godless, I'd rather be around these godless people than around majority of Christians. I'm telling you, out of a city of maybe 14 million people plus, I've only seen 2 arguments in the last month. Okay? You'll see a dozen or more every day you walk out your house just in Tuolumne alone, and the population of 50,000. So, our preconceived ideas and notions about the rest of the world aren't as true as we may think they are. I know some friends that have never even been out of California. Like, you need to travel. You need to get out. You need to look around. Far too often are we living in boxes. Far too often are we enslaved in one way or the other to work or our lives. And that's no way to live. True freedom is to be free and to go and visit and do the things that you want to do and makes you happy. So I highly encourage you, if you're not happy with your life, if you feel like you're rock bottom, or you're just not. For me, I mean, I felt both. I was at rock bottom. I needed to do something, but I felt like I was at the top of a mountain not too long ago too, and it was kind of like, well, where to from here? I feel like I was hitting a glass ceiling. Like, I couldn't go any higher, and then I couldn't go any lower. So it's like sometimes you got to change it up. Change isn't easy, but sometimes change is good. In some aspects, I feel like I had a Job moment where I lost everything, but then God's really given me a lot, if not way more. I know He's given me more here, considering what I did lose. I'm very happy with what God has provided me here, and I'm very thankful for it. It's not the same, and it obviously is difficult, but it's definitely better in a lot of different ways. It's better for my health, it's better for my stress. I'm happy again. I mean, people make decisions because they think that'll make them happier. And I hope you make the right decisions. I know people have made decisions to think that this would be happier if they did this, and at the end of the day, it doesn't work out. For me, I wasn't necessarily looking for a better life or happiness. I just knew I had to go do something. And in the process of just doing the right thing, I found immense happiness, joy, and stress relief in this journey. So it's been a ride this last month, that's for sure. Some people say I'm going too fast, but it's like, it's not me that's going fast. It's just God's putting these things right in front of me. I'm just picking them up like I'm picking up winning lottery tickets off the road. I'm not even hardly trying. It's just, it's been an amazing and fun journey, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it. And, I'm just enjoying the moment. It seems like I can live in eternity from moment to moment, unlike the dread that I've felt in the past of just like, oh, I can't wait till tomorrow. I can't wait till next week or next month. Like, a lot of that doesn't even weigh on me anymore. I'm just happy to be here right now in this moment. And that's priceless. There's so many different priceless things that I can say about my journey currently. But anyways, I probably rambled enough. Again, happy 4th of July back home. I hope everybody's enjoying themselves, enjoying family and friends. I will be praying for you all as a whole, all my friends and family, that you guys will find your peace and happiness somehow too, and you'll be content in whatever you're doing in your lives. And again, if you ever need somebody to talk to, if you need some encouragement, please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. I would love to encourage you. I would love to just sit and listen to you. You know me in my heart. I love people, and I love having relationships. So anyways, happy 4th of July. This is Sergeant R from Vietnam. See you on the other side.